Okay, so I haven't uploaded anything in a while. So I figured, well, I'm lacking in videos right now. And out of sheer desperation, I thought, well, maybe I can do a video on how to sharpen a knife. But everybody and their damn dogs uploaded a video of that so far. So I'm going to show you guys how I've been making these rings that I've been making. This, pardon the bad lighting, is what I'm working with. It's a bolt. I've been dremeling away at it so far. Got it nice and shiny on that side. Still need to work on the edges. I've gotten one corner round away, somewhat rounded away, right there, as you can see by the nice reflection. But I've still got a lot of dips and divots and dents and everything else I got to buff out. This, actually, was part of this at one point in time. Now, I didn't bother recording me cutting it because, well, all I've got's a Dremel tool, and that took for freaking ever and actually went through 3 bits. I went through 3 of these little bastards. Really small, really flimsy, and you get probably about a good 50, maybe 60 of them with the Dremel tool, which tells you exactly how cheap and flimsy and nasty they are. Not only that, but I had to let it cool down a couple of times. It's still kind of toasty. And yes, I am doing this inside. So for all of you that are really big shop safety fanatics, don't follow my example, please, for the love of God. I have a blister forming, despite the fact I've been wearing gloves. Well, a glove, because it's the only one I can find right now. It does tend to get a little toasty. So, anyways, I will continue recording step by step. Unfortunately, I'm doing this on my phone and with my Dremel tool. Everything that I'm doing the best with what I have. So don't expect the grandest of quality, and for those of you that are critics, please be gentle for a while. Once I actually start getting the right tools, then you all can start being assholes. Anyways. Okay, well, I will show you more once I get it buffed up and shiny and start shaping it. But until then, let's see how well we can do. Okay, so finally got this thing buffed up, and I noticed 2 things. One, this is really soft metal. I'm taking a lot out of this with just my sanding bit here, which I do believe this is, looking at it, what the hell are these bits? Does it even say? No. But comparing it to the other sanding bits I have, which are 240 and 220, I'm going to say that's probably right around, I'd say probably about maybe a 180. I don't know. Shit. It's been forever since I've had to work with sandpaper. But anyways. And 2, I noticed that as I'm buffing this out, I keep putting a nice little dip right there in the middle. Actually, you can kind of see it with the way the light's catching it. Uneven, kind of looks like a cone. So I went and read the owner's manual on this thing. I've had it for 7 years, about 7 months, and I haven't touched the owner's manual on it. Well, come to find out, this nifty little bit here where you put the sandpaper has this wonderful little screw down in the middle. I don't know how well you can see that. I can see it pretty well on my screen here, but I don't know how well you guys can see it. And for those of you that don't know, the tighter you screw this down with this nifty little key here, the farther out the center of this will bulge. So eventually you either get an egg or oval shape. Now if you need a flat something flat, that's not going to do so well. So just remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, for those of you that don't know, or for those of you who are too stupid to remember. Sorry, that was mean, but you get my point. Anyways, so I might actually be able to skip a couple of steps and just finish the whole thing with just this bit. Let's see. Okay, so now, as I'm sitting here dremeling this, can't really see it too well, but I've got started shaping it, right? So I've got a white piece of paper or something lying around here. Not really. Damn. Perfect, actually. Reach over here into my box of stuff here. Plop that down. Yeah, that doesn't really help any. Okay, anyways. So, there we go. Yep, right there. So, where'd it go? Right there. Started rounding it out, as you can see, compared to the sharper edges. It's coming out fairly well, and it's got this nice little downward curve. Not exactly straight. I like the way that looks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the shorter side, which is right here. Shorter side. Dremel that just a little bit thinner. Try to make an actual band out of it instead of this big old hunking piece of metal that you'll have on the back side of your knuckle. Try to, you know, make that thinner, which right now I'm just doing from the outside. Now, second thing, and this is coming from somebody who doesn't really follow safety procedures. This right here, I don't know how well you can see that. I have a hole in the tip of my glove because I did not keep control of my tool and it went flying out of my hands. See?
Cut yourself?
No, I did not cut myself. But anyways, so that is why you want to wear gloves when you're working with power tools. It does save you. If I hadn't been wearing this, I would not have much of a tip of a finger left. And that's just from a sanding bit. Now, if I would have been using this little bastard, that would have tore the shit out of me in a heartbeat and a half. Even on a Dremel. These things are definitely not my favorite thing to be using. But anyways, that is still unbelievably hot. Anyways, so just a reminder, be safe, guys. Proper tool control, proper safety, you know, gloves, ear glasses. Mine are cheap pieces of shit, but they help. And make sure you're using the right tools for the right job. I am using a sanding bit on a piece of metal, which you usually wouldn't use to shape it. You would use it to polish, and even that is questionable at times. Well, I'm gonna try to finish up, show you guys the finished product. Okay, so as you can see, I've almost got a pretty gnarly looking pinky ring here. I decided to leave the 3 peaks. I kind of like the way it looks, but on the back side, I've almost completely rounded it off. I've still got a few areas I got to work on. Maybe if I can get that off my pinky. But as you can see, it's coming along fairly well, and I think it looks better than the first couple I've done. This is actually about the 3rd or 4th one I've made. Usually what I have to do is I've got to Dremel out the threads using a grinding bit. This little guy here, which I hate using because it's a piece of shit. But I'm almost done with it. I mean, a little bit more grinding. Sorry if I'm a little shaky here. My blood sugar is getting low and it's late. Yeah. But anyways, hopefully, good news is, hopefully here pretty soon. I realize that I've only got like 3 or 4 subscribers at this point in time. I'm not very surprised. I mean, it has been a while since I've uploaded a video. But, ooh, I got an edge right there. Yeah, I got a little bit more grinding to do on the corners and edges here. But anyways, hopefully here pretty soon I will have a camera, so you guys will actually be able to have somebody that you actually can see talking. Like I said, I'm going to be wearing a mask for quite a while until I hit 1,000 subscribers. At that point in time, I'll be comfortable with showing you guys my face, but until then, no name, no face, but here's the almost finished product. Say probably about another 30-45 minutes worth of grinding and I should be done. So, and by the way, after a while I decided to save my fingers a lot of pain. Went and got me a pair of pliers because I'm tired of burning the shit out of the tips of my fingers. So, almost done. Show you guys the finished product. Probably about another 30 minutes, 45 minutes or so. Like I said, the best one I've done so far. Okay, so, good news. After an hour and a half, which was put on stall because, yet again, on tool safety, okay? Whenever you're working with power tools or anything at all, always make sure you have a sure grip on your tool and on your project. Whether it be a pair of pliers, a vise, hell, even just a death grip, if you're that stupid. Anything. Okay? Because as I was shaping the inside of this, my Dremel caught it and sent it flying clear across the room. I'm lucky I didn't hit a window, the TV. Yet again, also, tool safety, be aware of your surroundings. I'm doing this sitting on my living room floor. Not the brightest choice I've made in my short career here. But anyways, didn't come out too bad. Back to safety. Okay, and yes, I'm preaching to the choir. I'm well aware. But kids, if any of you decide to do anything that you see me do on here, please make sure you have a parent around or somebody over the age of 18 to help you out. Or just make sure you don't hurt yourself or anyone, because I've already had 2 accidents and this ring has taken me 2 hours, so 2 accidents, 2 hours. Please be careful, guys. Other than that, this ring is done. It actually fits fairly well on my dominant finger, no less, my right hand, which, see if I can get it on right. Fits perfect, fits like a glove, doesn't jiggle. Slide it on, slide it off. Came out better than the rest of them. In fact, I just might keep this one, make another one. But anyways, pretty sad when the jewelry I custom make fits better than the ones I buy from the store. Of course, and again, I got goofy ass knuckles too, so. Well, that's video number 2 for now. Hopefully, once I can get everything up and going, you guys will be able to, I'll be able to upload a whole lot more. But until then, like I said, I am doing everything on my phone from recording to uploading. That's why there's no transitions between frames. There's what you see is what you get. Fortunately, when you got to work with 2 hands and you don't have a stand or anything, it gets a little hard. And, well, hopefully here pretty soon I can get everything collected and up and going. But until then, my phone is everything, from recorder to my computer. So, well, that's it for today. Nice little bolt ring and some safety. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with this guy though. I got a big old something or another, but that is a tiny ass thread. But I do have a lot of material to work with, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I mean, I could probably get 2 rings out of that easily. It's pretty thick, so we'll see. Leave me some comments, suggestions, what I should do with this little guy. This is actually the remnants of that, so as you can see, that was a lot of material, and there's actually my cut ring on it, so not a bad job. Alright guys, later.